Hey, this is David for Big Bits. In this video, we are going to talk about the multi-time frame RSI indicator I've released, or as I have called it, the RSI Call-Outs Multi-Resolution. Now, this is based off of an indicator I've created previously, which just kind of calls out overbought or oversold conditions in an indicator. Now, in this particular version of it, I have introduced multiple time frames or multiple resolutions so that you can require that not only say the 1 minute chart is overbought, but the 5 minute, the 15, and also the 1 hour. Now that's just an example. You can choose whatever resolutions or time frames that you would like, but you can do up to 4, and it will require that all 4 or all the enabled ones are all overbought or all oversold to produce the call out on the chart, but it also has an alert condition based on whether or not they're all oversold or all overbought. So let's go ahead and get into showing you the actual indicator itself. So let me minimize the pine there. So you'll notice it does not repaint. It may rewrite the values within the same particular candle, but once the candle is over, it will not clear out the labels. So that is a difference between the previous version that just had the single RSI and this particular one, is that this one will not kind of repaint. So this situation here, probably not a good use for it. This one here, probably much better. And of course, you can always play around with the settings and have them however you like. But let's go ahead and show you how it actually works. Let's see, we have 4 different RSIs. I kind of have them grouped: RSI 1, RSI 2, RSI 3, and RSI 4. You'll notice they all kind of have the same settings, but the first RSI does not have an option to enable or disable it, and that is because I think you at least need to have one RSI enabled for the indicator to actually work. So by default, the first RSI is going to be enabled, and if you look at it, we have an RSI period of 14, and this is kind of a default RSI, and we're looking at the 1 minute resolution. So it doesn't matter what resolution we have the chart on. We could look at this at a 5 minute or 15 minute, and it would still show us that information. Although when you are looking at higher resolutions, say the 15-minute chart, you'll notice that they are not showing nearly as often, and that is because when you're looking at these higher resolution charts, it doesn't have access to as much data within the lower levels, and so therefore it can only really print that one, and you may miss out on some of the callouts. So I suggest, if you are doing the multi-resolution callouts here, that you start with the lowest resolution, so on this one, 1 minute, and then you also need to set your chart to that resolution as well, and you're going to get better results, or at least it's going to function better and show you what you need and actually give you the alerts when you need them, as opposed to looking at a chart in a higher resolution. Now, to continue on, I've went over the period, the source, and the resolution. There's also an oversold level and an overbought level. These are all custom to each particular resolution. So this is the RSI level for the 1 minute resolution. So in order for it to be considered overbought on 1 minute, it has to be above 80. Now I also have RSI 2 enabled. It's very similar, but it's operating on 5 minutes, and for it to be overbought, it only has to be above 65. And the same thing for RSI 3, it's on 15 minute, and it has to be above 65 as well. And then the RSI 4, it's enabled as well. This is the 1 hour chart, and it has to just be above 50. So you kind of get an idea. You can play around with these things. If you want it to be a little bit pickier, say we want the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute to all be the same, that's completely fine. Let's actually adjust the 1 hour. 50 is kind of low for an overbought level, so let's set that to 70, and let's set that to 30. Let's hit OK and see if it adjusts anything. So it didn't get rid of these. It got rid of some of these though. So that's something you can do to play around with the chart or with the indicator to make the conditions show up, or the alert conditions fire when you'd like, and the callouts to show up when you would like as well. Let's go back and see if there's any that show up for overbought or oversold, excuse me. Here's several. Right here, you can see they meet all these conditions. They are all below 20, 35, 35, and 30 respectively. So you can change these RSI levels to however you want. Say you want to get really, really stingy on these and set your RSI levels to 2080 on all of them. You can do that. and it's probably going to be a little bit harder to find something that actually meets that condition, especially on the S&P, which is what we're on. Let's see if there's actually any that meet this. No. So let's go to something a little bit more volatile. Let's go to Aetherium USD. See if we can't get any here. Okay, so I told you it's kind of actually hard to get all four of them that oversold at once, and if you're looking at a higher resolution, it's not even going to work. I'm trying to think if there's actually anything that is more volatile. Let's check out XRP versus Bitcoin. That one's sometimes pretty volatile. No, well, I'm not going to keep searching for this. You've seen how it works with the other examples. And let's go ahead and reset these settings because I do want to show you the alert conditions. And we'll just leave it on XRP Bitcoin right now. You can go to your alert panel. You can create a new alert. And while you have this indicator on here for the condition, you can actually choose RSI Call-Outs Multi-Resolution. And then you can select whether you want to get an alert when there is an overbought call-out or an oversold call-out. So you can set your settings on the chart, kind of walk away from it, set your alerts, and it'll tell you using the alert system on TradingView when the call out has actually occurred. So we've gotten pretty much everything from our multiple resolutions all the way to the alert conditions. Now there is one more thing I wanted to mention, and that is when you enable and disable the respective RSIs for the different numbers here, RSI 2, 3, and 4, it will no longer consider those when they are disabled. So if it's requiring all of them to be oversold, you don't have to worry. If you disable one, it's just going to kind of ignore that one, and that's how you should expect it to work. But I wanted to clarify that for anyone who might not be entirely sure about how that would actually work. Now, this script is available publicly on TradingView. Now, you should be able to find it in the public library very soon. I've just published this one, so it takes a little while to index in their search service, so it might not be available just yet. Yes, it's not showing up in the public library just yet, so it's still got an index. So by the time this video is out, it'll probably be available in public library. And you can also see that's in my scripts. That's where I update the code. But if you go to my profile on TradingView, which there is a link for it in the description of my video, you can go back and you can actually find the actual RSI callouts multi-resolution script, and you can get access to the source code there if you wanted to get that, and you can probably add it from there as well. But that pretty much does it for this particular video. Hopefully you all enjoy this. I don't know why it's taking me this long to get this particular indicator out, but if there's anything else you would like to see like this with multi-resolution, maybe say like a MACD or stochastic RSI, something like that, just leave a comment, let me know. We will need to work on a new indicator soon. We're kind of running out of the community ideas, and if there are some that you've suggested that I forgot, please remind me because I have a hard time keeping up with everything everyone sends me all the time anymore. I'm getting a lot more messages now than I used to. I appreciate it, but if I forget something, just remind me and we'll come back around to it if we can. But that is it for this particular video today. If you liked it, please leave a like, and as always, please subscribe to the channel if you like this video. I've made a lot of other indicators very similar to this and plan to do more. I've got a lot of Pine tutorials as well, and you'll notice I did show you this particular one. This is the one that it's based off of, the RSI callouts, and this is just a single resolution. So you'll have access to that one too. If you go to the public library, you'll see that. But that does it. Thank you, and have a great day.